Well, we're going to start with our first video in the series of working on this Finnish M27. Now we're going to address the first problem, and what it is it wouldn't close on a cartridge and there was some difficulty with it. Now when I examine this gun, this is a resized case, and the ammo will drop in and go up against the barrel and drop right out. But the problem is when we put the bolt in, and we go to close it, we see that even on just this case it's binding. So we're not, with the cartridge going in and out, there's not an obstruction in the bore. Somehow when this goes to lock up, this has got issues. Okay. So what I've done is I went with the bore scope, and I went in endoscope mode. In other words, I didn't have the 90-degree mirror on there, and I went and looked inside. And I'm going to try to incorporate this video. I'm new to this, so I'm going to put the segment where we looked inside the area where the lockup is in the receiver and the end of the barrel. Hopefully that worked out, and you see that there's brass all along the edge of the bore in there, and there's rust up inside where the locking lugs are. So what we're going to do, or try to do here now, clear this up, is I have some of this penetrating oil. Somebody said this Freol, Kroll oil, any of them, liquid wrench, they all kind of, I guess, do the same thing. But one guy was really talking about this, and I could order it on Amazon and get it in a day. So. And then we're going to take an electric drill, and that's a 12 gauge, it's kind of a chintzy brush, but it's a 12 gauge brush that I'll show you. I'll get it in here. I got the rifle up in here. So first step is we're going to spray some penetrating oil, and it's always best to let it sit for a while, about 10 minutes or something. And then we'll sit there and we'll try to clean it out, and then we'll see if this has removed any of the stuff in there. So when I get back, I'll show you. We'll have it all set up and get ready to go. Alright, you could probably lay this flat on the bench or whatever, put some rags, but I'm going to get some in there so it more or less stays in there, flowing down. We want it to flow inward and stay there. You get the idea. So I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes there, then I'm going to flip it over, do the same thing, and get it to where this stuff soaks in for a few minutes before we go and get our brush ready. Alright, so we've let our rifle in action soak with this Freol for about 15-20 minutes. And what we're going to do now is, on a little electric drill, we're going to put a 12 gauge wire brush, and that's soft. I don't know. I got bronze ones that probably work better. I'm going to get that wet. And then what we're going to do is put it in at an angle, kind of get that thing in there, and then you want to kind of push to the front of the barrel, up top. Alright, as you see, you destroyed the brush, but let me see what we can get, what came out with a white patch. Okay, what I'm going to do is put this white patch in there, kind of run that around inside, wipe up all this. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of little fuzzy, hazy things on there. Alright, let's see if our bolt works any better. Nope. Okay. Okay, I don't believe that one was aggressive enough. We didn't see, well, there was some dirt dislodged, but I think we need to get in there with this bronze brush and get a little more. So I'm going to work with this for a while and use this, and I'll get back to you then. Alright, this got really filthy because that brush was used for doing something like that before. And we'll see, this cloth is going to come out filthy as hell, I know that. Don't know if there's any metal or anything on this. But yeah, that kind of got thick with crud. I'm going to clean this out and then we'll do another endoscope view. Okay, so after polishing it out, getting kind of aggressive, I cleaned out most of the chamber. So let's see what happens. This is 53 Lapua brass. Still don't want to close on that, still tough. Alright, now we're going to try PPU 7.62 by 54 brass. Kind of closes on that, which I believe the PPU brass is a little bit thinner in the rim diameter, or it varies, you know, different companies vary. So probably the head space on this bolt is about 1.5 thousandths too tight. We cleaned most of the crud out, and now we can get it to close. It's better than what it was, because I think I put some of that, maybe I didn't put the PPU brass in there, I don't know. We'll try the 53 one more time, just to see if we're getting there. Nope, that one don't want to. So yeah, we got a head space problem, a couple thou. So this other brass won't work, but we got it to close on the PPU, so it's just a matter of maybe trimming it back and kind of converting it to that. Then we'll see, we'll close out this video. Well, I guess we got it. So when you wish to clean it out, this is an old Hops number 9 bronze 12 gauge brush. Got the adapter from the kit on there. This thing worked. As you can, hopefully you could see those videos when I went in there with the endoscope. It took all the stuff out. The brass is gone, the rust is gone, it's clean, the inside of that receiver's clean, the bolt works a lot better. Now, about the brass. Like I said, this is an old one too. The new ones, like the stainless steel ones you get on Amazon out of China, they ain't worth the crap. That thing just, it didn't take nothing out really. That, you know, was more aggressive and did it. Now, the thing is, we got this to where the bolt is working a lot better. It's still stiff when it goes in past that receiver, but a lot smoother. Now, it does not close on the Lapua brass, so I'm still thinking, you know, it's head space. And the head space, you know, is set. Like I said, I could not get another bolt out of a Mosin Nagant to fit in that action. Okay, so somehow they must have been hand fitted or something. And the head space, it can only be off by about, why am I not focusing? It can only be off by about 1,000th or so, not much. So probably what I'll do, you know, I can get it to close somewhat on the PPU brass, and it's a lot less expensive than taking those Lapua brass. I'm not going to fool with them. I'm going to take some PPU brass, cut it down to 53 length, and then chuck it up in the lathe and just touch it with a file, take 1,000ths or so off till they close in that gun. And I'll do 20 cases just for that gun. It's kind of not the way to fix it, but I don't know how to fit a bolt head in there to check that, you know, correct that head space. I believe it's a little tight, which, because you know it's head spacing off the rim, so taking a little off the rim of the case, you know, ain't gonna hurt nothing. Okay, because it's not big. In other words, that cartridge isn't floating in there, it's too tight, which causes malfunctions like this. But that's what we got so far. You know, I left that in the stock, which I kind of shouldn't have. Now the stock kind of got soaked around the action with penetrating oil. And that's going to probably be it for today. And tomorrow we'll probably disassemble the gun and we'll start working on the bore. Okay, you know, seeing about cleaning that up. And we'll make some more videos on that. So problem number one more or less is solved, or we got a solution where it'll work better. Just polishing the brass a little to get the bolt to close easier. And a lot of that crud is out of that area. Now we're going to go on and work on the barrel. Alright, hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned.